Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Nima Akasha Zibiri. How you doing?
Good morning, ladies. I'm fine. I'm fine. It's Okwe's birthday today.
Yes. One of our producers.
Okwe's
Jobi.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You know better than to not wish Okwe happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
She's looking so beautiful this morning.
Oh, I haven't seen her.
Our producer.
Yeah. She's looking very colorful, like a cupcake.
Her hair looks really lovely.
No,
she's wearing like this short.
Very colorful.
Oh, okay. You look beautiful like a cupcake.
Yes, cupcake is a compliment.
Look at this.
I had a bit of drama yesterday.
No, maybe she say moi moi. She looks hot like moi moi.
I
had a bit of drama yesterday on my page. So a friend had gone to a cafe in Abuja and she was walked out because she was in the hijab. And the moment Amina shared it, I got provoked. I shared it, and that's where Wahala started. Fortunately, the owner of the place did not know how his staff treat Muslims. He is Muslim himself, and he reached out to me. He was very bitter, feeling bad about it. But that's what's trending along Muslim platforms now, that, you know, the place should be boycotted. And yesterday, 9 to 11, he called me. He's lost some money and a lot of customers. Bookings were cancelled. Orders were cancelled. He's not aware of how his staff behaved. He's addressed that. He called. We spoke this morning as well. He's, you know, reprimanded that staff. He has addressed the behavior and is apologizing. If you're on my page,
I also apologized to the lady.
He called her personally. He called me personally. I sent the numbers of Amina and the lady.
You, because you've used your voice and your platform to speak up, which is great, and that's exactly what this is about.
You know, the unfortunate thing, he has a staff that is deliberate about this, because before he replied me, that staff used his business page to reply me that they were doing it for security reasons. I shall know that there's security and banditry in the north.
Imagine that.
A lot of people have a different agenda, but their money go complain. You know, staff, they'll get their salary. So now he knows to train and select the staff,
and educate,
and they have the same business vision that he has with him before they destroy his business.
But there are Muslims all over the world, and we have to be
and this place is in Abuja, Abuja of all places.
I'm so happy. I think one of the things, the fallout of this is the owner of the business himself is a Muslim man who has a child who wears hijab. So obviously he does not agree with the staff, and he has apologized and is asking, you know, Nigerians, because they've taken action. They're cancelling orders, they're boycotting the place, and he's saying, we have handled this, we have apologized to the person, and she has also accepted the apology, and she's made a tweet, so we should know that he's sincere about that.
Thank you very much, sir. Very fantastic. How are you doing, Topwe?
I'm very good.
I love what you're wearing. I don't know why. I
love her makeup and her hair.
You know, it's ELC dressing. We have to dress as host of the event. But yesterday, one of the things that that was shared at the program, Authentic Leadership, was the topic, was that beware of a leather without wrinkles. Beware of leaders that have no scars. Beware of success that has no story. And many times we hide, or we think that our stories are not, like, they should not know this part of me. But those are the things that reinforces the authenticity of your leadership. And we would like our leaders to be more authentic with their struggles with us, because it is not easy to rule, to lead Nigeria. And if they would acknowledge, we are having this challenge, we will do this law, these people are doing this. Like, be honest with the people that you're leading. Let us understand the sincerity.
You know, interestingly, that came out in our conversation yesterday with our guest that we hosted yesterday. And I said that a lot of people, that many people actually have money before they go into government, but they don't tell us. We don't know that you are a made man, that you're a businessman, you have this value. Then when you come in, we always say, he's stealing money. Once you come into government, we assume that, he has stolen that money, now he has a house in Banana Island. Actually, you've been building over the years and saved money. So, but because they're not transparent about where they're coming from, what they have, they'll tell you to disclose. You say, you don't want to disclose. They don't know what you have. So when you start having a house in Banana Island, we understand, okay, from your business, that all favors that you got.
Well, you know what I got from that is that when you say beware of a leather without wrinkles, the thing is, many people are so unforgiving of people when they're on their journey and making mistakes. We do not give people the grace to make their mistakes. We're calling them out. We want to shut them down. We want
Something
to
just
exactly bring it out and punish people for mistakes that they needed to have made to be where they are today. So we have to look at that really and learn to be kinder towards each other.
So if we're going to be kinder, remember the girl that danced naked the other day?
Yes.
That's part of her journey.
Yes.
She thought that will be said.
She has learned a
She has
lot.
made a mistake. Yes, she has learned from it, and that's this journey. And in future, she'll be like, okay, yes, I shouldn't have done that. So yes, we can condemn the act. We can't condemn the person.
Where she's going.
Just letting you know that it's part of this journey. How are you doing, Marianne?
I'm good. I'm amazing. I'm fine. I'm great. And I'm happy to be here.
And you?
And you?
I'm equally fine. You know, I mean, interestingly, I think about my mom every single day. Every single day. I mean, now I understand what you're saying when your dad passed. Every single day, you're constantly thinking. But you know what? Life would move on, and it's great that she lived a good life. But I'm thankful. So let's go on a break. When we come back, we go to the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Hey, Elijah, leave me alone. Okay, we're going to start with The Nation. Body of collapsed Lagos building owner retrieved. Okonkwo Soludo Oba Ozigbo pledged peaceful Anambra poll. MTN Nigeria completes issuance of the 89.9 billion naira bonds. Court orders EFCC to pay man 5 million naira for declaring him wanted. APC orders warring Oyo groups to reconcile. 360,000 download e-Naira speed-up wallet app. And FG operators reject the $1.97 million spectrum fee. Okay, which story we started with?
Okay.
You want to take it?
Go ahead.
No, take the EFCC.
Okay, so this man called, his name is Kennedy Sule Izuagbe, obviously from Anesako. He sued the EFCC to court for declaring him wanted on their page and on their social media and on their website. His picture is there. They declared him wanted. Right. EFCC is saying that they had insider reports of about 5 billion naira laundered through him. They are doing investigation. He's saying they did not get a court order to declare him wanted. Ooh, and they put him on their page since 2019 as wanted. And, you know, even though they've had 2 other, court orders saying this is wrong, he's still on their page. So he came this time to court to ask for 500 million or billion naira compensation, but the court awarded him 5 million. So
wait,
this is
500 billion.
No, he came for 500 million as compensation, but he got 5 million as the court ordered the EFCC to remove his name from their page. Apologize to him on that page publicly as well and all their social media platform and pay him compensation for doing that to him.
Yes,
so there's always, I'm always happy when there's ways to resolve issues aside other peacefully. So institution again established.
Maria?
Yeah, so e-Naira, we remember e-Naira launched just recently, and they're saying that the numbers are high for those who have downloaded it. So the e-Naira speed wallets for individuals, they have in 10 days only 367,000 downloads, while the e-Naira speed merchants for businesses have recorded 58,600 downloads. And they also said that the penetration of those who have downloaded it, that is iPhone users, has moved from 75 countries to 81 countries in 10 days. So it's quite a popular app, despite the back and forth. We had conversations towards the launch. So it looks like many Nigerians are, downloading this.
So let's get a quick update from Lagos State, the building that collapsed. So the governor he's really taking this seriously. He has, as we said, he has inaugurated a panel, and they've started work already, and it's given them 4 weeks. Since then, I think they said that they found the owner of the building, Ms. late Femi Oshibono, and his friend Wale have been removed yesterday from the rubble. The governor said the chairman of the committee, Mr. Toyin Ayinde, and he's going to be doing his job without fear or favor, and he's going to have all the support he needs. Other members have also been mentioned, and I think their task will be to to find out what happened. I mean, I think that's what Nigerians want to know, and I think Lagos State Governor is careful to say that Nigerians deserve to know what happened, and they need to do a thorough investigation and then provide some kind of report in 4 weeks. So we're all waiting for this report, and he has asked that we have flags at half-mast because we're going to be having a 3-day mourning, you know, in honor of those who've lost it. Almost 40 people have died. We confirmed, I think about 39, but it's looking like 40, and they don't even know there's still more bodies. So we'll get an update later on the state of things in Ikoyi building, but I'm happy that the government is on top of this, and hopefully we'll get some real results after 4 weeks.
So let me take the story on the 5G spectrum. So there is going to be an auction on the 10th of December for the spectrum. It's like by the NCC. For each slot of the spectrum will be put at 3.5 gigahertz band. And the telecommunication companies are saying the pricing is not right, that you cannot charge $197.4 million per spectrum, and that this is over 100% above the estimated market value that it should come for, and it would raise non-participation of people that can be involved in it, and it doesn't align with best practices. There is no reason for the excessive hike, 136% difference within what should be the standard price and what Nigeria is planning to offer. That is not just it's not an individual. All the players within this industry disagreed with the price. So
moving on quickly to the Punch, Ikoyi building, we talked about that earlier. Police kill 3 during clash with Lagos tricycle operators over 100 naira. Female rep orders Omo Agege's aides arrest, alleges intimidation, and SSA denies. Police hunters at Metekon kill Ekiti suspected kidnapper with AK-47 rifle, cash recovered. Ogun local government chairman faults commissioner over demolition in forest reserves. Cultist robbers, kidnappers hiding under IPOB's name to unleash mayhem, says southeastern governors. Government officials, esticles, others gulped $3.9 billion in 1 year, says report. National Assembly tackles Amechi over Niger Republic rail line and others. Okay,
the drama from the National Assembly. So the lawmaker representing Oluyole Federal Constituency, Honorable Tolulope Akonde Shadipe, allegedly ordered the arrest of the senior special assistant to the Deputy Senate President on print, Mr. Jide Babalola, over what she called harassment in the elevator. So according to the report, asked Mr. Babalola's account, he said that they were in the elevator and there were too many people. And because he survived COVID just a few months back, he was just being careful. So there was no how he wasn't going to bump into her. But she insisted he bumped into her in ways that were, inappropriate. And so he insisted that, no, he didn't even know she was a lawmaker. That he thinks his offense was because he addressed her as madam when she complained about being bumped into. And he said, no, madam, it's because of the way we were all, plenty inside the elevator, and that the elevator is not the one specially designated for lawmakers, that they were in the general elevator and she was in that elevator with him. But she insisted that he was a deliberate harassment because when she tried to confront him, he looked at her in a funny way and she said, please step back. He turned, according to her, let me take her account again, he said, this is a case of gender harassment. He got into the elevator after me. I was talking to a staff member of the National Assembly and all I said to him was, please don't step back. And he turned on me, intimidating me because I am a woman. This is a case of gender bias and gender intimidation. Before we know, they have arrested the man and he had to be bailed by another lawmaker from Kogi because of what happened. I would like that the cases of gender abuse
everywhere
and female harassment is taken very seriously, that we don't play this kind of watered down games with it, because serious cases of that happens. And also, if it is truly the case that his account was correct, it's also not right that we're intimidating ourselves because of our office, which is the Nigerian staff.
All right, let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so we're going to continue with the Punch, I believe.
Yes.
Mariam, you have a story? Go ahead, please.
So the Minister for Transport was before the Senate and House of Reps Joint Committees on Land and Marine Transport, to talk about his budget for 2022. And according to the report, they said the senators became upset when he brought the budget for the Nigeria Maradi rail. That's the one that goes all the way to Niger. And they're saying that, Niger. They said that, okay, so according to that particular rail line would be a standard gauge. But the ones that they've done so far are narrow gauge. The standard gauge is, according to them, like a more modern, updated rail line compared to what they've used across the country. So for them, they feel it's a sort of marginalization. And Senator Enjuma Goje, who's the chairman of the Senate Committee Marine Transport, also mentioned that, we're doing lots of rail from Nigeria to Niger. We're doing, different parts of Nigeria. What happened to the middle belt? Some of the areas, are they, why are we marginalized, sort of? Anyway, the minister says, first of all, the difference between the narrow gauge and the standard gauge is speed, and that there's an amount of money that goes in, which is more expensive than standard gauge. And to raise that sort of money to do that across the country, was not tenable. And that they are still talking about the loan for the Nigeria Maradi line as well. And that because they also question the economic benefits of having a rail that goes all the way to another country when we have rail, especially in the southeast, Port Harcourt rail, that brings a lot more business than, having a rail all the way to Niger. And he says it's not for any sentimental reason, but that there are economic benefits to have a rail that goes to other countries that way, will have access to other West African countries. And that was conversation.
All right. Please, I want to take a story here. Something happened in the Ogun State's Forest Reserve. So the Ogun State Commissioner for Forestry, Tuji Akinyosi, went into a forest, a particular forest within the Ijebu East local government, and they destroyed the shanties. According to him, the reason for that this will be a continuous process because they want to ensure they reduce hideouts within these forest reserves. However, the local government chairman has retraded words. Wale Adedayo retraded words with him that this area that you went to destroy is an area that we as government officials visited when we were seeking votes for elections. That there are government properties that were built within those forest reserves, that these people vote for us, and now they are coming to meet us as local government, that they have destroyed our homes, they've destroyed our schools, and that they as a local government are now having to pay for what they had no idea of what is going on. In between the both of them, we haven't, I'm hoping the governor would step in because it's obvious that we need to protect our forest reserves and we need to ensure that criminal elements don't take advantage of the fact that there's a forest to inhabit. But if there are citizens of Nigeria who are legitimately living within those areas, they should also have been carried along before destroying their homes and their schools.
I was going to touch on the federal government orders 10,000 tractors from Brazil. And the reason why I said I wanted to take it because we also reminded yesterday from our conversation that it's one thing to say we are ordering from Brazil, and there's another thing to go, who exactly has ordered it?
Yes.
And when does it arrive? And when does it start work? So we're seeing now that they're ordering 10,000 units of tractors and 50,000 units of equipment to be assembled in the country to be. So when papers are carrying these to be's, we shouldn't celebrate or get excited about it.
Yes, exactly what I'm going to say. Until we see it. We should stop announcing an order. We should only announce when it's been fully implemented.
Moving on now to Daily Sun. Let's find a story we've not taken. Southeast governors to IPOB will meet FG on Kanu. Kenya confirms in court Kanu didn't undergo extradition proceedings. Pandemonium as policeman killed tricycle operator and 2 others in Lagos. Bianca Ojukwu attacks Obiano, accuses him of destroying APGA. On Rosson's report, FG inaugurates committees to restructure MDA's commissions and agencies. Atiku governors Udom list Nigeria's woes. Okay.
A police officer, according to the report and the Punch, was stopped a Keke Marua at Meron And usually, I think the keke operators have to pay 100 naira, which the one he stopped said, I don't have the money. His name is Ele. He said, this is my first trip. I have not made money yet. And before they knew it, he got a knife and stabbed him to death. This provoked a reaction from all the operators around. They decided to attack the police officer. And according to an eyewitness report, he continued to wield the knife till he was able to escape. So they took the body to the Meron police station and dumped the body there. But some of the operators were still provoked, and so they decided to throw bottles and stones into the police station and attempted to set the police station on fire. The police, retaliated with shooting bullets as well as tear gas into the crowd. And that stray bullet killed 2 other people in the same report. You know, we don't want to
solve anything.
Deal with this issue of police brutality. We have to deal with it and make scapegoats of the officers that, do this. Put their names in papers. Something that puts people's trust back in the system, that, the system will take care of such abuses rather than resort to self-help.
So police
self-help
officers now carry knives?
I wonder, knife wielding police officer.
Anyway, yes, so the former president of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, and governor of Akwa Ibom, Udom Emmanuel, were in Kaduna recently, and they said that Nigerians are trapped in the net of poverty, insecurity, backwardedness, and bad governance. And that the only way, the former vice president said, the only way for Nigerians to really move forward is for us to be united. And, he gave an example. He says for him, he doesn't see Nigerians as Igbo, Hausa, or Yoruba. He sees you as just Nigerian. And that's why when he was getting married, he did not select a particular place to marry his wives. He married his wives from different places. And now all their brothers and sisters have different backgrounds and things like that. So it's important that we are united, we see each other as one, and our differences should not separate us, but instead bring us close together. That even our faiths, even though they are different, we cannot insist that we have one faith, but, in our different faith, we still come together, and that's the only way Nigeria can move forward.
So let me take the story of the chairman of the Southeastern Governors Forum, and he's also the governor of Ebonyi State, Governor David Umahi, stated to the press, and the specifics of it was that cultists, armed robbers, kidnappers are hiding under the guise of IPOB to cause issues within the Southeast. It was also mentioning the fact that he's in talks. He's going to have conversations with the president to see how they can find a political solution to the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, saying that the conversation would carry the fact that the Southeastern governors are saying these issues are political. Let us resolve it politically. He mentioned how there needs to be more to be done to release the region from the stronghold of criminals that have taken over the place. Said that there are some illegal elements declaring stay at home, and that they are not. It's not one body. It's not coercion. It's not a unifying force, and that they are discussing with them to find a way to ensure that the stay at home is no longer implemented and everybody resumes their activities within the state. But it seems like the entire Southeastern governors are speaking with one voice concerning how to deal with the crisis going on within their region.
In a related story, so Kanu's younger brother, Nnamdi Kanu's younger, Kingsley Kanu, has alleged that the Kenyan government have finally admitted that Kanu wasn't legally extradited to Nigeria. According to him, that they had released some statements recently in their defense, and they were denying their complicity in the extradition of Nnamdi Kanu. But according to him now, he's saying now, based on their responses, it is clear that they did not follow due process in extradition, and that can actually be taken up. Okay, moving on now to the Nigerian Tribune very quickly. Let's find a story of not taking Oyo APC crisis. Stakeholders get 1 week to harmonize positions. Britain approves world's first COVID-19 pill. ASU gives FG 48 hours to rescue victims of Uni Abuja kidnap. 2022 budget, FG to partner states for food security, promote financial inclusion. And FG set to scrap, merge some agencies. All right, which story?
So Britain, Britain found a pill for COVID-19, which
they found.
Yes, they've developed one. According to them, they become the first country, according to the report, to approve a potentially game-changing COVID-19 antiviral pill. They developed it in jointly with the US, a company called Merck and Richback. And they said that they will start to administer it as soon as a person who's potentially more likely to lose their lives due to COVID. So those people in that area that they call risky, those who have severe illnesses and obesity and all other age and diabetics, those are the patients that they will start to use the pill for immediately their test results come out. And they are preparing for this because, you know, they projected that they will have a very dangerous, more damaging winter.
So they projected
coming. That's what they... No, I mean, I'm just... You know why I'm taking it like that? We talk about research all the time. Yeah. We were the ones shouting that our Agbo would have done wonders in 2020 when COVID started here. And, you know, we talk it till now. Our NAFDAC said that they have a research product and we've not come out with anything. But these are serious countries who know what their universities should be doing.
They have something on ground. They not just start in 2021, right. So they can come up with something in a few months.
But this, according to this
back end work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ASU.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so the leadership of ASU, Abuja's chapter, is giving government 48-hour ultimatum, given the kidnapping of their colleagues and, you know, the children, 3 professors, and, you know, their children as well. 6 persons were kidnapped, 2 professors, 1 senior lecturer, and 3 of their family members. The kidnappers have reached out to the families of the victims and are asking for 50 million per person. So that's 300 million. The leadership of ASU, Abuja chapter, is saying that they are unhappy with, you know, 48 hours, and they haven't seen, you know, anything to show that the security operatives are on it. And they're asking that with immediate effect, a fence be built around the staff quarters, that particular staff quarters was built during the Shehu Shagari regime. It was originally a police barracks, and then it was converted to staff quarters and never had a perimeter fence. So they're asking for that. And then all illegal occupants in the staff quarters should be sent away immediately.
We need to wrap up the papers, but I can't run off without taking this story because it's kind of the part of the Nigerian story problem we're having. So I read the story about federal government merge some agencies together, right? I thought it was a good story. So I read the story, and then what I read was that the Orosoye reports, remember the Orosoye report, right? So they are set, you know, Orosoye reports came out of a committee that was set that gave up the report. Now they're setting up 2 committees to review the report of the committee. To let us know, I mean, come on, man, this is the Nigerian problem. We have all agreed that the Orosoye report was good. Orosoye report should be implemented.
Yes.
Let us implement. Why you now say 2 committees to review again? On what basis? I don't understand why we always do this. Okay, this round circle is going around.
Reports had said, they said out of the 541 statutory and non-statutory federal government parastatals and agencies, 263 statutory agencies should be reduced to 161. And it added that 38 agencies should be abolished, 52 agencies merged, and 14 reverted to their old ministries.
And there were reasons given for this at that report.
It was
a comprehensive report. I remember.
When it came to the House, it was rejected because, you know, of course, some people would lose jobs and all of that. So they are revisiting it now with another panel.
2 panels, 2 committees. Let us go on a break.
I don't understand.
When we come back, that's why we don't move forward. After the committee now finish, we'll now stall again.
That's how many years?
2 years later, let's do another committee to review what the committee did for the committee, and before you know it, nothing happens.
Confusion.
Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Yes. Hello, Ma. Good morning. Are you there? Thanks for staying with us. So we have with us on the phone Honorable Tolu Lokpe Akonde Shadipe. She's the honorable member who alleged gender harassment in the elevator yesterday. Good morning, madam. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good to have you on the show. So, obviously, we read your story in the papers this morning, and we'd just like to know exactly your take. What exactly happened?
Yes, what happened? Yesterday was a very, very sad day for me. Very, very sad day. Because I never expected that kind of thing to happen within the walls of the National Assembly. If it can happen within the walls of the National Assembly, Imagine what the woman out there is going through. I was in the elevator, and there were quite a few other people there because I was on my way to a meeting. So I was leaving the building. There was other people there, and a particular gentleman who I was chatting with, who is a staff from National Assembly. Then I noticed that the man in front of me was too close to me because of the people in the elevator. So I made a statement to him and said, please don't step back. I don't think there was anything wrong in that statement. He now turned around at such close proximity to me in my face. And that was quite intimidating, telling me basically that I had no right to tell him not to step back. I had my national identity, my National Assembly ID card, my identity card on me. So obviously, he knew who I was. And I said to him, I said, you behaved very badly here. And I wonder, could you please tell me who you are? Because I was going to step up the place. He now said, I have so. And so, at the time, I didn't catch the name because I was so intimidated. We stepped out of your elevator, and I was so upset, and I was walking towards the exit where I knew I would meet the security sergeant in arms and bring the issue to their attention because I didn't feel safe. And then I ran into my colleague, the chairman of health, and I immediately told him that this is what this man has just done to me. At that point, they told me to apologize to me. The Minister of Health was there. He pulled me aside and said I should calm down because of my health. And then I continued. By then, the sergeant in arms was aware of what was going on and was walking down the corridor towards us. At that point, I told them again what this man did, and I said to them that I am going to take formal charges about this. And I left the building. And I went to the...
Honorable, so did he at any point touch you?
No. He did not touch me. He was in my face.
Okay. Right.
And I needed to prevent him from stepping back. Because if he stepped back, what it meant is his body would be touching my body.
Right.
His back would be touching my front. And I thought that was intimidation.
Right.
And which was why I said, it could have happened in error. Which was why I said, please don't step back. And I believe the fact that I said, please don't step back, should not have resulted in this. If he did not have the mindset that a woman meant nothing. Okay. If I was a male member of the House, what happened yesterday would never have happened.
All right, let me get a few more questions in for you. Right.
So, Madam, Honorable Ma, the man in question is the Senior Special Assistant to the Deputy Senate President on print. His name is Jide Babalola. He says that it was merely a case of bumping into you. That he said you had accused him of bumping into you, and he said to you, Madam, I didn't bump into you. This is me quoting him as he said it. Now, was this really a case of bumping into you? Did you take offense at being addressed as Madam instead of Honorable?
That is not the case, Madam. There is nothing wrong with addressing me as Madam, because I am a woman, and you will address a woman as Madam. And I do not even remember him using the word Madam at all. And he did not bump into me. I prevented him from bumping into me, and that infuriated him, that I had the audacity to tell him not to step back.
Right. Okay.
Ma'am, you said
all I said was, please don't step back.
Right.
And he challenged me. Right. And I said, because if you step back, your body will touch my body. I never want to use the word bump.
Okay, ma'am, you mentioned...
And he said, I have no right, basically. If I remember, not his choice of words, but his interpretation of his words. Let me
get a question in for you. Go ahead, Mara.
Yes. So in the beginning, when you started narrating the story, you said that there were other people in the elevator with you. Are those people willing to confirm what transpired between you, that you actually asked him, please, to not bump into you? And can they confirm that he was rude towards you? And if that is confirmed, what is the step that the National Assembly would take towards this?
Okay. Yes, there were people there. Yes, there are witnesses that can tell you and corroborate what I said happened. And yes, I have informed the leader of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Senator Jadiamila, yesterday night, and again, I will put it formally in writing this morning.
All right.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you this question. Obviously, it wasn't you. I cannot imagine how you felt. It's your experience. Like Nima mentioned during the earlier during the newspaper review, there are many women being constantly harassed around the country, and they do not have the platform you have to be able to speak up the way you have done. I want to ask you that, what are you hoping to achieve by prosecuting him, and how do you intend to use this experience to ensure that no other person goes through that, where they will feel intimidated because
they spoke up.
They spoke up and said, don't come close to me. Yes.
I thank you for that question. In the past 24 hours, I have been intimidated by, would I say, the world of journalism, because the gentleman happens to be a journalist. But I thank God that I have the confidence to be able to stand my ground on this matter. And this also brings to the attention of the whole of Nigeria what women are going through. Because if I, in my safe confines of my workplace, the National Assembly, can be faced with that kind of intimidation as a member of the Nigerian legislative, what would I call it, caucus, can you imagine what women out there are faced with every day? If that can happen to me, this needs to draw attention to the fact that Nigerian women are suffering. We're suffering. If I had kept quiet, it would have been okay.
All right.
For him to bump into me.
Thank you very much.
Is that what the journalism world is saying?
Yeah. I have to wrap up at this point, but thank you for sharing your story. We'll try to maybe talk more about this after the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
All right. Thanks for staying with us. So earlier we spoke with Honorable Tolulokpe Akonde Shadipe, who expressed her experience that we read on the papers. But you see, this is an issue of personal space. A lot of Nigerians may not understand what it means, personal space. So myself and Tokpa will try to demonstrate what she was trying to say exactly. So Tokpa, you are going to be honorable in the elevator. I will be the gentleman walking into the elevator, and then we'll see what happens. So come stand right here. So she's in the elevator already, and I am the male honorable, right? Trying to enter the elevator. So I enter the elevator, hang in there. So I enter the elevator, and I come right here.
Don't step back. You are really, really so close.
So don't step back, meaning don't step back. Now, instead of me to say, oh, I'm so sorry, move forward.
One step.
Or step forward. When you say don't step back, instead of me to move forward, I'm like this. So, and she's like, yeah, so she's wondering, in my face. So now, that's to many might seem big deal, but you're in somebody's space.
Personal space.
Somebody's personal space.
So personal space is the physical space. So it's a thing. Before we think it's something that people bring up and concoct. So it's the physical space immediately surrounding someone in which encroachment can feel threatening or uncomfortable. So she said she felt intimidated. So it's not that it was a feeling she just wanted to express because how dare he encroach on her personal space. It's actually a feeling you get when someone goes beyond what you is respectfully the distance that they should give between each other. But also she mentioned that it was an elevator and there are other people in the elevator as well. So maybe it was a bit tight. But as you demonstrated, just one step forward would have just created out
of respect
too.
Out of respect for the person.
So let me take his account again. And just for the benefit of our viewers, he was interviewed in the Punch, detailed and quoted well. So that's why I'm relying on this. He said at the point, I didn't know who she was. I didn't know she was a honorable member. So if she was just anybody, which he had, been under that misconception that she was just anybody, so this could fly. Also, he went on and said, I don't usually use the elevator for lawmakers. So if he was a lawmaker, of course, this would not have happened. But of course, again, he thought she was just a regular person. So women go through this daily. I remember hating it and people thinking it was just because of the hijab. When I said, don't come to my space, and don't pay me certain patronizing comments, I see it as an abuse of my person. It seems like, waiting they do, you're abnormal. But just as you read what it means, for whatever I consider the limits that you can go, that's where you should stop. The moment I don't feel comfortable, you go back. Right. So in an elevator, for instance, she says, don't move forward. The respectful thing to do, whether she's female or male, is try to create that space. Because in our public buses, women go through this daily. When you are made to stand in certain buses, the man behind is making it seem like heaven will fall. Some people would sit beside you in the bus, and you're not just comfortable by the way the brushing and the touchings are happening, but you don't have the platform to speak about it. And this woman, obviously what she went through is real. It happens to people daily. You want to say, Nami cover your alaja. Women around will even start to say, what are you saying? And some women even are physically, sexually abused in such positions.
People are brushed.
And they're supposed to be silent.
Especially if you are busty. They'll just turn around.
Behind.
You have it behind.
So they lean a little bit into your space so that you can feel that brush. And then, yes, when you tell someone, the person will be like, what exactly are you complaining about? There's a crowd here. I see that in queues. So you see that, yes, there's a crowd, but also there's a respectable distance you give someone. But some people don't take it. They take advantage of that, because how then do you now want to dissect that thin line between you brushing that person and the person, encroaching on your space? So it's a thing. Please let's respect each other.
Yes, please, I want to also mention another place where it plays out is, like, when I used to take a bike regularly, it was extremely uncomfortable. You see the bike men leaning, like I feel like you're leaning back towards me. So I stay on the bike like this. And we need to understand, and I see messages here saying, maybe it was the tone of her voice. She used a commanding voice to talk to him.
But you have to use a commanding voice.
Then another person was like, Isha did not touch her. You know, so for me, the messages, whatever we discuss, any story that has to do with any form of harassment or all of that, the responses I get online, it just shocks me. Like, are you kidding me? Is it because it's not you it's happening to? Which one is she used the commanding tone? So you are confident, it means everybody will look at you like, so who do you think you are? Or because you are an honorable, or because she's in a... I did not know she was honorable. Like, if I don't remember, I'll have done something differently.
She's a person,
human
female
being.
Or male. I don't want you in my space.
So let's
it's simple. We have comments on our YouTube. ACAC says, this woman don't have a point convincing to make. Just leave the rest of the other women. They will sort out their issues. You are the only one indirectly intimidating the man. But then Cole Williams says, I don't want to hear anything. As soon as she expressed her concern, he should have corrected himself. Janet said, the man intimidated her, which was wrong. He could have touched her. It is wrong that you do that. Janet also says, a lot of women have suffered assault and intimidation from male counterparts in the past. A lot of times when this happens, it's simple, but step aside. I don't queue. When I go to a queue, I say, please, I'm behind you. I don't queue because of things like this.
Okay, that's all we can take on this segment. I just hope that we learn about personal space. I think that's the real reason, crux of this conversation. Yes, but there was no physical harassment, but there was no verbal harassment either. But that invasion of your personal space, which is a real feeling.
It's a real thing.
Please, a real thing. Let's not assume that people are just being overzealous about it. It's actually, people really feel intimidated and harassed when you do that. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we get an update from the Ikoyi collapse building. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Now I'm told we have our correspondent, Mr. Theophilus Elama, who is going to be giving us an update on the collapsed building in Ikoyi. Good morning, Theo. Are you there?
Yes, I am here, Mariah.
Please tell us, yes, we know yesterday that the building owner, Mr. Femi Oshibano, and his friend, Mr. Wale Bola Hosseini's bodies were found. Any other bodies recovered today? And are there any other updates you'd like to give to us this morning?
Okay, from the updates we have here, first of all, the death toll has been set at 40. Now, if you look behind me, work is just starting some minutes ago at about 9:34 a.m. Work started. By the time we got here, it was raining, and we thought that because of the rain, work had to stop. But by the time we spoke with one or two persons, we realized that work had stopped since about 12 midnight. That was the information we got. A lot of family members and onlookers were here complaining about the situation. Now, someone is here with me to give us his perspective. His family member is trapped in that rubble there, and he was one of those who was complaining about the situation. Now, tell us now, what happened since midnight that you've been here?
I actually slept here. I was waiting to... I just wanted to have a picture of what the work... I wanted to have a picture of how the work goes on at night.
We lost connection. I don't know.
The poor man that was waiting for his family member and spent the night there. And then work stopped for hours in between that. I know that we might not be trying to recover anybody alive anymore, but there's an emotional attachment to see that a proper burial is done for their family member that has been lost. And so it is expected that because of sensitivity, even if it is not full-blown work, something should at least be going on all through the hours of the day. And I know we might not have enough hands, and people might be tired, but the sort of shift must be going on. It's sad for someone to report 12 noon to 9 a.m. I'm sure the LASEMA officials would have something to say about that, but nobody will feel comfortable hearing that.
When we talked about shifts with the NEMA boss, it seemed like it was impossible. So working at night during when roads are done is, of course, providing light immediately. At that site, that could have been put in place. Have lights, then do shifts. If you need to, service your trucks, have backup trucks to do this, and maybe we would have saved more people. But now we have 40 people dead.
Right, I'm told that we're back. Hello, Theo.
Crane board, they were all gathered, construction companies, they were all here. So are they waiting for the governor to come or the deputy governor to come before they would now say, before they attend to the issue on ground? Do you understand? So this, I think it's wrong.
So they stopped work at about
5 minutes after
12.
Yeah.
And so they just started work about some minutes to 10.
10 minutes to 10.
How does this make you feel?
I feel bad because, and the work they are doing now is not like they are trying to get people out. The work they are doing is just to clear the rubble, heap them into the tippers that you can see here outside. So that's just all they are doing, because the Red Cross is not here to pick up the corpse of the people that might have been stuck in there. You understand? So the Red Cross is not here to put them in body bags. So they are obviously not working in the areas where they can find anybody body to pick up. My brother is still stuck in there. I've not seen his body. I don't know if he's alive or if he's dead.
And that's the situation of a lot of people that are there.
That is the situation of a lot of families here. Lots of people are still around here waiting for their family members to be found. They've been sleeping here since Monday. I came in here on Tuesday. I started coming here on Wednesday. And since then, the job has been like, okay, fine, they've been active via Wednesday, Thursday. But for Christ's sake, why is Friday separate? Because Oshibana was found at about 5 minutes, 10 minutes to 6 yesterday. This is wrong now.
Thank you very much for talking to us.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. There you have it now. One of the family members of the victims complaining about the situation. But as it is now, work has started already. You can see from the visuals, if our cameraman can zoom in between, you can see that work has started already. And they're ensuring that this pile-up comes to ground zero. But so far, we hear that the death toll is now 40. We do not have other figures because we're still waiting to see if some bodies will be recovered from this debris.
How many people are still expecting to recover from under the rubble? Because I know the governor had complained that there was no manifesto to tell us exactly how many people were in the building. So we know we found 40 and 9 were rescued. Do we have an understanding from those who have actually been rescued of how many people were probably in that building, so we know how many more people we're expecting to get?
The thing is that we do not have an understanding of how many people were in that building, because you realize that workers were here. And from the information from since the day the incident happened till today, a lot of people were seen working here at the building. A lot of people, artisans, electricians, and all of that. A lot of people were seen working there, and so no one at this point can say this certain number of people were working here, because like when you're building an apartment or a high-rise building, you have quite a lot of workers coming in to do menial jobs here. So no one is sure as to the number of people that were in here working before the building collapsed.
Right.
So we can see that there are family members sitting under a tent. So these people there, have there been anyone amongst them who were able to identify maybe bodies recovered of their family members and then left the tent? Are these people sure that their family members are there, or they're just missing and they're thinking they might be there? Are these questions, have they been asked of them? Or this, so that may also help us to know who exactly may still be missing and may still be under the rubble.
Under the tent, lots of these people here
a lot of them have spoken to off camera are sure that their family members are in the rubble. And so there were part of those complaining about the fact that workers are stopped working since midnight. There was a sort of a mini protest when the cameras came around, because they were not happy at the situation and complained about the fact that why they were asking questions. Why would work have to stop after everything at midnight? They're concerned about the fact that they haven't even seen the bodies of their own family members. And so why will work? So they are waiting and complaining and want the government to ensure that the rubble goes to ground zero, and they are sure their family members are there and they can get the bodies before they will leave here.
Theophilus, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, while we're not professionals in this, it looked obviously like they were just trying to get the rubbles out, like the family member that has been waiting overnight they mentioned. Is it possible in any way for them to still recover bodies with the system of excavation going on there, based on what you're saying?
It looks very possible. With the excavation happening, it looks very possible that while they are trying to excavate this debris, they will see dead bodies in between or even down. Because pictures flying all over the internet shows that some people were still on the ground floor when the building collapsed. And so it's a high possibility that they will see some other, they will recover some other dead bodies from this debris.
So, I mean, the good thing is that, I mean, just yesterday, the owner of the building was recovered. So it means that they're still rescuing. They're still trying to recovering people. So it's not like they're giving up or they're just clearing the rubble. They're still looking for bodies they can find. We'll just have to wait. I mean, as I said, we've all learned from Surfside, and we knew that it took weeks for them to finally bring everybody out. So recovery is a long process. It can be painful for the family members, but the truth is that we all just have to wait and see how many people we can recover as soon as possible. But our hearts really, really go out to the family of those who lost their loved ones, and we hope that this committee members that have been put together would actually give us results. In fact, that's my final question. Theo, the committee, have you seen them this morning? Have they come around to investigate or to ask questions, or they're yet to start work today?
Well, we've not seen members of the committee come here to ask questions at this point. We haven't seen any member of the committee. They was just started this morning. Well, by the time we got here, nobody was working on the site. But right now, the work has started. So we expect that members of the committee will come in to do some preliminary investigations to ascertain the cause of the collapse.
All right. Thank you very much, Theophilus, for giving us an update on that. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, we'll move on to other things. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So before we move on to our hot topic of the day, we have with us gentleman Mr. Jide Babalola. He is the second party in the elevator saga, in the thing that happened in the elevator. So he reached out to us because obviously we spoke to the honorable member earlier. Mr. Jide Babalola, are you there? Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yes. So earlier we spoke with Honorable Tolulokwe Fashikwe, and she explained to us what happened. And now that we have you on the line, could you kindly tell us? Oh, I think we lost that call. We'd really like to hear from him, because it's always good to have both sides of the story so we have a balanced conversation, because the issue, regardless of what happens, the conversation really is about personal space, understanding and respecting personal space. That's the whole idea. We'll try to connect with him in a minute. But in the meantime, I think we'll move on to our hot topic of the day, which is continuing the conversation we had yesterday. And it was because I think Nima wasn't there, and we thought it was important for you to be there. So you're talking to issues on finances, sharing finances with your spouse. And it's important because you have experienced a lot of men and women who are falling short of what should come to them because of the decisions they made on finances. So I know you have some experience on that. That's why I wanted you to help us understand better. How do we manage finances, especially when it comes to disempowered spouses? You know, that women that they didn't work all their lives. You know, they don't have money, and then they put every small thing they have, they put in the same pot. And unfortunately, somehow they miss out at the end.
There's a principle of law that I felt encouraged for women that are supposedly disempowered when I was studying laws of equity. And it's the principle of advancement. But recently, even abroad, that principle has now been...
Okay, so I have to pause you. I'm told he's back now. So I'm sorry we have to keep switching, but it's important to hear Mr. Jide Babalola's side. I'm told he's back now. Mr. Babalola, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Very good.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
I was driving, but I received several calls, and I parked, and I'm just taking this down. I really appreciate you're inviting me to express my decision. Thank you very much.
So tell us, sir, what happened on that day exactly? Tell us your own side of the story.
It was yesterday, 11:45. I left the office of the Honorable Member of the National Assembly. I told him that I need to go and pick my children somewhere. I was really in a hurry. Okay, normally I avoid crowded elevators, but the one I was close to, I joined the elevator. We were going downstairs from the third floor. So when we got to the second floor, even though it was crowded, 2 or 3 more people came in. So, making it necessary for us to shift a bit. I was very conscious of the space of the 2 women, in the elevator with us. I'm always very conscious of that anyway. So, suddenly I just heard from behind the sideways, behind me. So angry expressions also, something like you're about to bump into me, don't bump into me and all that. And I was shocked, And after hearing 1 or 2 more things, I just had to, look at the person, and she said she was not very angry really, I understand if there's any anxiety, but eventually start asking me, who are you? What are you? You're about to bump into me and all that. But I had to ask you that, madam, take it easy. I didn't know that at that point, I did not know that she's the honorable member of the house. So I refer to her as madam, which probably caused more anger. So I said, madam, calm down. Nobody's bumping into you. And she was really angry, saying, okay, now, who are you and all that, I responded. I said, madam, who are you too? What is your name too? Just the way she asked me. So by the time we got to the ground floor, there were some top government officials and honorable members coming. She approached them and she was really angry, so they tried to intervene. One of them asked me, okay, what happened? And I explained very briefly. So I was told by one of
Mr. Babalola, let me ask you, at any point in time, did you apologize for being in her space?
I did not invade her space. It was a crowded elevator, the public elevator in the House of Reps that was meant for commoners like me. There was one specially meant for honorable members. I don't ever go to that one. But that one, there were 9 of us in an elevator. And I never, our body never touched. Today, till this moment, you never said that our body ever touched or anything. It was just from a warning of somebody don't bump into me that everything started degenerating. I never experienced this sort of thing in my life.
All right. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Okay, so Mr. Babalola, I would like us to see. I don't think it's about a commoner's elevator or special elevator.
No,
I think it's first about the fact that someone has said to you, "Oh, don't bump into me." Maybe she saw that you were about to bump into her. But secondly, could you, when you talk about it, were you upset that she said, "Don't bump into me," or did you think there was a tone of voice that she used that didn't sit well with you? Is it the fact that "don't bump into me" was your problem, or the fact that maybe her tone of voice was not acceptable to you?
No, the tone was really intense, and I thought I could calm things down. When she started asking, "Who are you? What is your name?" I thought, I can just respond and say, "Madam, who are you? What is your name too?" That, I thought it's a simple matter that we can de-escalate, at that point. Then by the time we got downstairs, it only got worse.
Okay. Mr. Babajide, Mr. Babalola, did you understand her point of view? Did you feel like she had a reason to be agitated?
Without doubt. I've lived, in the northern part of Nigeria and in the other parts of the south. Without doubt, a woman has a right to her private space that should not be invaded. Whether she complains about it or not, a man must respect the private space of a woman. I believe that, very sincerely.
Okay, Mr. Babalola, you just said earlier now that you said to her, "Calm down, nobody's trying to bump into you." So yes. Could you have done any other thing? Because, from our own point of view, you were bumping into her.
About to.
Or you were about to. So even though the elevator was crowded, like you said, 9 persons within the elevator at the time,
yes.
Could you have seen it from a point of view of a space rather than a crowded elevator?
Well,
because
even between the honorable member and I, somebody dropped a jerry can. One of the cleaners, one of the people in the elevator that we met there, had a jerry can, which was between us. I couldn't have bumped into her for any reason. And that is what I kept saying, that male or female, I can't bump into anyone. See, for God's sake, I got infected with coronavirus last year. It was a horrible experience for my family. Even boarding that elevator, it was because I was in a hurry to go and pick my kids from where they were. I don't support crowded elevators. I avoid it.
All right. Thank you very much. I think we can wrap it up there. Thank you very much for helping us to get your side of the story. As I said, regardless of how this tilts, the point is that human beings must respect each other's space. And he's saying that he acknowledges that a man and woman should have personal space and nobody should bump into each other. So, and she also acknowledged that he didn't bump into her, he was about to. And then that's when she stopped him. But the truth is, either way, the objective of this conversation is that we must always recognize that individuals have personal spaces that we shouldn't
take offense or think the voice is loud when the person is trying to express how they feel. So in our expressions, the tone cannot be gentle or nice because she is the one anticipating an invasion into that space. So the tone can be anyhow, but you on the receiving end try to create respect.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jide Babalola, for sharing your side of the story. Okay, moving back now to our story. We started this conversation yesterday concerning finance, and the reason why we said it was because we got messages from people complaining. I think it was a man that was saying that his wife wanted him to
change the property that she acquired before they got married into her name when they got married.
Well, into his name. Joint account. Yesterday we talked about joint account.
Let me go to break. We'll come back. We'll establish the story properly. Stay with us to be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, going back to the story. So yesterday, as I said before, we talked about joint accounts and all that. I wanted to hear your own perspective concerning it because you know a lot of women and men who have been victims. But I will link it to the story Tokwe introduced earlier, which is a different topic entirely, which is the fact that a young girl worked so hard for her money, was able to get a flat, I think it's a bedroom flat, got tenants, and then it's flats, right? And when she now finally about to get married, her husband said, her husband-to-be said, okay, all this, your fine property, everything that you have, transfer it to my name because you are now under my
control.
You're submitting to me as your head of the house. So all your properties that you have been having. Is that the right thing to do? So I would like you to, I'll start with you for the first one and then the second one.
So like I was saying earlier, that for women who are not empowered, do give small, and don't think it counts. If you're able to show that you advance something, that principle of advancement covers such women, where the law says that, okay, now you're now joint owners. Because even though it wasn't a contract, you were giving. But abroad it's been vacated. I don't have the present realities of our laws or court decisions on it now. But in a situation like this that we have, where a young girl has worked so hard for her property, legally and religiously, you have a right to own your own, just as you have a right to be married, and you don't have to mix the two. It is that line of abuse that we now start to use godly means and explain women into giving out. So a man who is confident in himself would not ask her to do that. Also, as a young girl, the moment you own a flat, this young girl in question had 8 flats. God bless her very well. She was wise in investing, and she had 8 flat building that she had invested in. She had an account that was well-funded, that her wise spending when she joined a career had helped her to gather. She should do a will that covers every and all of her dependents. Why I'm saying that is that when you are married to such a person, and you don't have a will, that person automatically becomes your next of kin and can disinherit all your other dependents. So for a young girl like that who had elder ones and parents living, something can happen, anything can happen. Based on my experience, people die suddenly. You leave your estate, you die intestate, you leave your estate to the mercy, and the court's decision is when there is a marriage certificate, that person becomes your next of kin. And if the person is not as generous or, objective in thought, and think of all of the people that loves you, that you love, that you would have loved, that your wealth take care of, he will just sit on everything. And he spends...
That is seen as on one side. There's a different angle where a woman has given everything, total submission, where I give everything I've earned and I hand it over to my husband because I trust him and he's wise enough to take a decision. And that's he does something big for the whole family. Eventually, he makes a lot of money and he hands everything over to me. So in the long run, it was beneficial to me. So there are two sides of the story, because there are stories where the man starts really small, the man is doing well, and she hands over entire business to the man. He then does it so much better. So is there a yardstick to determine at what point should I hand over or should I not hand over? That's really the question. Because you're submitting, at the same time you're not submitting.
Okay, so we discussed this thing a bit yesterday, and obviously we know that there's still more scenarios to it. There are different, each partner in a relationship are two different people from different walks of life and different experiences. And the conversation the conversation should be had between the couple to understand. But that's the ideal circumstance where you are in a relationship with someone who respects your opinion and is willing to listen to you. But that's not the reality in many marriages. There are many marriages where the conversations are one-sided. It's I have said this, you obey me. It is, I am the head, and this is the way the family would go. Submit your entire income into and I will decide how it is going to be spent. And my thought yesterday was, if you find yourself in a situation where you cannot legislate as a family on how money is going to be shared, then obviously there are issues in that marriage, and you can still choose to keep the marriage going together, but you must find a way to protect your interest financially if anything happens.
What if your husband is trying to test you? Wanted to see how you house. There's always that angle. You don't just test if she's totally committed to me, and then you fail the test, and you see you don't have to hand over your thing.
We have failed it now. We have failed it. Then we have failed it.
Yeah, because this is where even single people in singles have that drama of test that you now say you don't give me money, you don't do anything. You're trying to know if I genuinely love you before you now marry the person. I feel like you should. There's no testing in the matter. Have a conversation and expect honesty from one another. But like Nima said, people should write wills, and we don't take it seriously because we expect that. I had a conversation with my husband after that stuff, and my question was, who is your next of kin? Because you mentioned it. What's the name? Yes, what name is in your next of kin? Did you update after we got married, because it's not something we thought to discuss. But like, am I the one in all your accounts next of kin?
That's a good question to ask.
Yes, because I had to change my previous account when I went to change my name, because they asked that do I want to update everything that has to do with my contact. But when I changed my name in my account officially, I now asked that they change, because my mom was the one on all my next of kin when I was single, and it would have remained that way if I did not deliberately go and change the particular decision.
I made sure I didn't marry under the act. I didn't go to any registry to marry. I married Islamically. So when you live a life like this and die, the Quranic heirs automatically takes care of whatever I have and leave behind, so that my husband cannot just be on it.
So you're not married legally?
I'm married legally. Islamic.
But not under the marriage
recognized under the laws of Nigeria. Very well recognized. But not go to the marriage, so that the Marriage Act does not take over my interests. If I do that, immediately my husband becomes my only next of kin, except maybe my children. If I die without children. No. I just wanted Islamic laws to govern everything that I do. So that's why I deliberately did that. Then there was a mistake that I used to do. When I started my business at 17, I opened an account and my next of kin was my brother. And when I got married, he was still my brother till maybe when I was pregnant. And my husband, immediately we got married, documented everything. Immediately, in fact, 2 weeks, was saying, where's the certificate? I need to stop at the office. And I became next of kin. So one day I was just standing in the bank and I saw a woman and a man arguing. I was like, they were brothers and sisters, and one had mismanaged things. So that security women used to have that. No, it's only my blood. Your blood can just be one nonsense person. And then there's also the very important, even if your blood is the correct person, he will start his own family. Do you want to put your own family, maybe your children, in a position where they have to depend on another person who has his own family to take care of, who you now have estates that your brother, as your next of kin, has taken over, used or for his personal gain? Your children cannot fight it because you did not change anything. They will go to your last place of work, they will receive your packages, and they can decide whether your children will do or they will not. They'll say, well, it's your mother, I'm doing your best interest. And then they protect their own immediate family and wife, because you didn't do the needful. So if you have something, there's always the best part of having it documented.
All right, I want to go back to this young lady. I mean, this topic of the fact that she has 8 flats. She's a young woman. She's about to get married. And everybody's telling her, you have to submit to your husband. That's your job, submit. Whatever he says is law. And he's saying, this your properties.
Change the deed of assignment into my name.
Change it to my name. Now, there are 2 things. He might be doing that because he wants to take advantage, or he wants to help her. We don't know. We never know that. So what are your thoughts?
Without taking it.
There are different ways. Let me get from her.
The story is that she was asking what to do. So she's actually considering, what she's not sure what the right thing to do is. And, she also said that when she told him about it, it took him a while. I think he had gone home, thought about it, and then called her to give her what she needs to do. So it also seems like he has taken advice from someone. I think we're not giving the right advice to young people. This thing that that young man said, that she said, her fiancé said, is things I've heard people who are not married say. And you see people who are married, they have a different sort of conversation, because we understand this marriage thing is a journey. Coming in and saying, write me your asset, pass this to me, even if you wanted that. There's something that happens within marriage, that things that are away from you and closed off from you become open, and you share it. If you understood that, had that maturity, that is not the time to be asking her to give him anything. But what most importantly, it is not his to have. It is not his own. This is hers, and she's bringing it as a bonus.
Have become one.
Yes, to have become one in other things.
You have access to it.
Yes, you have access to it. The benefits of what she has would play out in their marriage, in raising their children, would also provide a cushion for him. He's in a rented apartment. Probably they're able to now get a space that they can start, so money that he would have put towards rent, he'll be able to put towards business or something that they can do together.
All right.
So he should see that as the fact that she has that as a benefit towards how they will grow, not to own it and take it from her.
Let me take Hassan. Hassan, are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning, members of the executive board. Please, you see, this issue of a man asking a wife to transfer the property, that man was an irresponsible man in the first place. I don't see a man dabbling into a property of his wife or put on her, put on this. I consider that aspect as woman wahala. A woman would always ask you, the house you build, put my name inside. Have you done your will? Have you done this? Have you done that? Women are very conscious of their siblings. And they enjoy women not to join suit with them, not to be in the same way with them. We are very conscious of that. It makes us stronger, and it makes us be on our guard. This issue of women that your money is our money, my money is my money. Men are very much aware of that, and it makes us very strong and responsible.
Father Abraham was willing to sacrifice his only child, you know, because he trusted that he didn't even know what was going to happen. He went there and he took his only child. He laid it all down.
Okay.
Well, he wasn't even sure he was going to, because he was ready to God take it. Either he kill this child or whatever. So he didn't know that God would bring it around. Yeah. He didn't know that. So this is what it seems like they're asking of this woman. Bring all you have. You trust me. You've married me, Abi. You trust me as your leader. Bring it now. Why can't we trust? Why can't we trust each other to that level?
I think that, you know, when they say, when we throw that statement, your money is our money, my money is my money, people make it look like it's women are coming from a selfish point of view. But we said it over and over again that it's a family. If at any point in time, both parties must not be selfish about taking responsibility, you must not it's like saying you are letting the house be in darkness because you don't want to buy fuel. Or because my husband cannot afford to buy the fuel generator. All of us will stay inside darkness. Who is suffering? You know, some people actually might do it, but it is totally wrong. Yes, the man's responsibility is to take care of the house, but if for any reason he's unable to do it, someone should make sure the bills are paid. That is what is important. So if a woman is keeping her money, it's not because she's keeping her money so that she can go and be buying something weird at outside. It's so that there is a form of security women have from having their own funds, because life has happened to many women around them, and they've been taught to keep something so that if anything goes wrong,
they have been better
protected.
If she said, "Look, let me add your name to all I have."
No.
So let me add your name.
So here's how I think about it. You have acquired the property before you got married, and you are about to get married, not that you are married. Let the man understand that, give it time. Let's get married first. Let's do a few years together. Let's know ourselves a bit more. Whatever belongs to me by law automatically would come to you upon anything happening to me. So it's not like the property that becomes...
Let me take this call. I come tomorrow. Dr. Moyo, are you there?
Well...
See, money, we do this with
as
money.
Money causes problem.
Dr. Moyo, are you there?
So many great...
You're live. Please, go ahead.
Okay. You know, this issue about marriage is about sharing, it's about loving. You have to keep loving every day. You have to keep sharing every day. But, you know, I'm not married, but I know marriage has its own individual experiences, which I'm still learning from different people within my environment and from new ladies. However, there are some things that don't sit right with me. You don't start a marriage with that kind of note. It's risk of exploitation. It looks like you're up to something.
Red flag.
It's the woman that you, on her own, willingly, if a woman loves you, she's ready to give you anything. But women go and borrow to make their men happy. But when you are starting on submit to make up in a con, there's something, the guy is up to something. I don't know, it doesn't justify. And then she should just actually come to her parents. And then she should come to her parents if her parents have successful, happy marriage. Or people within the church, or a lawyer, or a counselor that will give an objective advice. Because when a woman loves, her head is not really correct.
Thank you very much, Dr. Moyo.
Your lawyer you should talk to. So this thing called submission has been a lot of times misconstrued and easily abused. So we see now women, when you are married, you submit your property, some will submit their bodies. And
a woman,
the one that I saw that broke my heart the most is a woman saying, I have submitted my body, you're pregnant. You have pregnancy, high blood pressure in pregnancy, and the doctors are advising, sign and have a CS so that we can save you. And you allowed a convulsion start while your husband is saying that I have called the village. In my family, they don't do CS. I am a husband, and I will not sign. And your life was being threatened. Your doctors are giving you advice, you are confused. There's no point of confusion cases. As long as you are conscious, you don't need a next of kin for such things. If your eyes are open, if your husband to be is already telling you, sign property to me, don't marry. Because they are marrying property. They're not marrying you. Yes, because it's clear. This is exploitation. If you could have worked this property, did you think that if you had met that person before you did those investments that were wise, you would have them? If the person is saying, transfer them to me, you know, let that person show his own ingenuity in working his own money, his own wisdom in investing, and how wise he's dealing with his own finances before you can say you're trusting in marriage and handing over.
So many bad
things. If you do it just because you are getting married, nothing to show. And the same thing
I think they should have
advice.
Okay, so you see, we have a story of people who have been in a relationship for a long time. He didn't know about this thing that she had. So he loved her enough to want to get married to her. And he was open to say, I am renting. So this is a man that feels, regular Nigerian man, I'm going to marry my wife and take care of her. So this information came just a few days, you know, a few months towards this marriage. So this is a man that already loves her. I feel that he was just ill-advised. I feel this is a young man now has found himself with this new scenario. How do I handle it? And he's gone to one Baba that's like, whoa, bro, you're lucky. Just make sure she says everything in your name. And I feel, for me, I feel that's what happens. But he needs to understand that in marriage, some things take time. There's some people who will tell you that when I didn't have anything, she brought everything. And then eventually, you know, she signed me onto this. And it's because he's proved over time that he can be trusted. And some of them even take over and do so much more with what she already has. But you don't come into a relationship and marriage asking somebody to hand over their properties to you.
So I think, you know, we had a caller. We had a caller that said that they should get counseling and legal help. I think that it is extremely important that if you find yourself in a situation, both of you should talk to a counselor and a lawyer, because they might create a document that puts things a bit in trust. That's number one. Number two is, I feel that we've heard many stories of people that will say, buy the property in our future daughter's name, buy the property in our future son's name, and then the person dies and they find out that they actually have somebody whose name is already that on ground.
That's a different kind.
So,
I have to run, but I think this issue is, I think we've been in marriage long enough to know that, listen,
give it time.
Give it time. This early conversation, way too early. Enter first. After you enter, not just enter, you now do a few years. Before you now say, okay, yes, let's join it. Because property conversation before marriage, I don't think it's
even if you have not entered, and this might be a sign of the kind of fights you'll be having.
Yes, when they even enter marriage. That is all we can take on the show, Nima. We have to wrap up. Have a great weekend. Once again, our hearts go out to the families of those who've lost their lives at the Ikoyi building. And we're really, really hopeful and prayerful that after 4 weeks, this committee that's set up will tell us, get to the root of the matter, and the right people will be persecuted for what has happened. Have a lovely weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye for now.